how to use Zoom webinars, Zoom conferences, and Zoom meetings so that you look your best, you sound your best, and you stay safe from those Zoom bombers. Do that again. Okay. Take two. I'm about to share my best tips, secrets, and shortcuts so you will look your best, you'll sound your best, and you'll stay safe from those Zoom bombers, whether you're running a Zoom meeting or a Zoom webinar, or whether it is a large conference that many people are joining. I have my settings so that everyone goes into the waiting room. Number one, that's also so that when I'm Zooming and I'm doing a Zoom meeting, I'm prepared with my video. If I'm walking around and bending over to pick stuff up or setting up I'll show you this as well, my little hack for audio. If I'm doing that, it's a little awkward. I don't want to have my video going on and all of a sudden someone just pops in and I don't realize they're in the room. A lot of people come early. My clients tend to come to my meetings early. I don't know why, but I want to make sure that while I'm doing all this setup, it's not this awkward, embarrassing moment when they pop in and I don't even realize it. So I have everyone go into a waiting room. The other reason you want to do that, not just for avoiding the awkward moments, is that if anyone, as far as a stranger online, which this is what's happening, this is what's called Zoom bombing, they're just coming into people's Zoom conferences and Zoom meetings uninvited. And if you don't have a waiting room in order for you to admit them in, they can just pop into your Zoom meeting. The other thing that they can do is they can start sharing their screen. They can start sharing a video or a GIF or visual images. So there are certain settings that I'm going to go into right now and teach you so that you protect your room. Remember, this is your room. This is your conference. So you want to protect it just like you would have a security guard and the outside, that no one that hasn't paid to get into your room is admitted. So put everyone in the waiting room. Number one, so that you know when they've come to your meeting. And number two, not to have strangers in the outside world Zoom bombing.
Was that you? I want you to think that I'm in. We're getting rickrolled. Oh no.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Was that you?
You know I did that.
Awesome.
And that was actually a perfect.
Was that you?
You know I did that.
Okay, before I show you the software to use to have your audio as crisp as possible, I want to show you what I'm using. And again, watch the video of the video equipment that I share with you in this channel. But right now, I'm actually using a new mic that wasn't in that video. So I'm just going to introduce that to you right now, but go watch that video as well once you're done with this video, obviously. But this is the AKG microphone, and I'm just going to show it to you. So the nice thing is it has a front speaker. So right now, you're not really getting much because I don't have the back speaker on. If I was doing a podcast where I had a guest in my office or studio 6 feet apart, their voice could be picked up on the back of this, and we would probably put it a little bit positioned a little differently, and then it would pick up both speakers' voice, so my voice and their voice. And if you noticed, I was talking earlier, and then all of a sudden now, when I went to pick up the microphone, do you notice how much more crisp it sounds? And that's because the closer you have your voice to the microphone, the better. So I have this setting as front only, so it only is picking up my voice. Now, because I am Italian and I like to use my hands for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to hold the mic the whole time. So I just have it tilted so that the voice gets picked up in this downward position. Better if this stand-up desk was a little bit higher, so that you could hear it just a little bit more crisp. So those are a way to just amp up your audio quality. And again, it's not bad to have your microphone in the shot. I personally like to have things invisible, so it just looks like we're having a conversation and it's not this professional radio show setting. And that's why I keep it down. And that's also why I hide my headphone. And I'll show you what I do there, because to look and sound your best, you want again, professional mic. And then also, you notice I'm attached with a headset or a headphone. And that's because I'm coming from the TV production business. So we want it to be just like you would see someone on TV. Again, you're the host, you're Ellen, right? You don't see her dangling with the Mac headset. Do you want to see my hack of what I'm wearing right now, where I can hear my guest if I was bringing on a guest, but you don't see any type of headset. You also don't have an echo coming in from the speaker from my phone, which has happened before. I have live streamed like that, and all of a sudden music broadcast because I didn't have my settings right. So the reason why we have this invisible little wire and it's behind me is because it kind of looks weird if it's in front. Now you could, but again, I think it kind of looks weird. Let's get a different camera angle to see if you agree. See how silly it looks when it's in front of you, especially if it's a white cord that's hanging, gives you these goofy ears in front of you. It's also distracting. And if you have a microphone, it also will rub up against your clothing, and then that interferes with the audio. So the ones that I love and highly recommend, and also very inexpensive, they're less than $20, the M6 headphones. They're very close to the TV professional earbuds we used to use, but it's a much, much, much longer cord, and they're labeled the right and left ear. You just put them in your ear, and this goes right around your ear. And then it's a little tricky because you kind of have to do a little loop around. If you have someone to help you, that's even better. Okay, and then you just get this one here, put it over your ear, and they become invisible, right? You don't notice that they're here. You're good to start filming without seeing the headphone. Okay, now do you want the other tips to avoid being Zoom bombed with your settings and how to bump up your appearance? Give this a like and I'll share it with you. Oh, this is not live. This is pre-recorded. Well, I'm going to trust that you're going to give this video a like and hit that subscribe button so I can give you more Zoom tips. This will give me feedback if this is a helpful video for you, and then I'll do more like this. Let's jump in and I'll share my screen, which is exactly what you can do. All you have to do is go down below and you're going to see this little green share screen button. You push that button, and then this is where it gets tricky. So share screen, and then make sure you're only sharing the specific browser that you want to show to the world as opposed to your entire desktop. It's like bringing them into a messy office. Don't do that if your desktop is messy or if you don't want them seeing important private documents. I've clicked the Google Chrome browser that I want you to see so that I can introduce you to Crisp. And then I click the little blue button that says share. So now you should be able to see the screen. Crisp.ai is the software that you can download to your computer, completely free for a certain level, and I'll show you the pricing on this as well. You can see here, it's absolutely free on Windows, Mac, and Chrome. You can mute your microphone noise for 120 minutes a week. So 2 hours a week, you can use Crisp completely free. You can see there's other levels if you need more minutes. So that's Crisp. So you can download that. So now let's look at your settings. This is what you came for, the tutorial. Protect yourself and have the best Zoom meeting ever. Okay, let's dive in here and look at some of the basic settings that I've got. So we've got Zoom meeting. Let's just scroll down to talk about the most important things. This one says join before the host, allow participants to join the meeting before the host arrives. We're going to say no. We do not want to do that. We do not want them joining before you get there. You're the host. You should be there first. This will avoid getting Zoom bombed with somebody that gets in there before you have come into the room. This is where it gets important right here. Use personal meeting ID, PMI, when scheduling a meeting. So if you have a PMI that doesn't change, this exposes you to getting Zoom bombed because once your meeting ID is out there, your PMI is out there, it's out for anyone to grab and then join your meeting when you're hosting. Okay, we're scrolling down to a few other important settings. It says play sound when participants join or leave. I like to have that setting as heard by host only. So that way I know when new people have come in, but it doesn't annoy other people every time a new person has joined. The other thing that it does is if people leave and say you're doing a sales presentation or sales webinar, you don't want to start the trend of people leaving your webinar because all of a sudden they hear ding, ding, ding. So I recommend have the sound heard by host only, so you're the only one who knows when people are coming and going. File transfer. This is another protection that you want to click off so that any guest can't share a file or a GIF or a GIF. It's supposed to be GIF, like Jiffy, even though it looks like GIF with a G, but have that turned off so that way if you do have an unsuspected visitor, they can't Zoom bomb with videos you don't want anybody else to see. Polling. I love this feature, especially if you're doing a Zoom webinar and say you're a realtor, you can actually put polls there before or after to keep people engaged and find out where are they in the real estate buying or selling stage. Are they looking to buy in the next 3 to 6 months? Are they looking to buy right away? Are they looking to sell within the next 30 days? You can do a variety of polls throughout your webinar or your Zoom meeting so that you can get a pulse on who is in your webinar. So screen sharing is another protection setting that you want to only allow the host to share their screen. If you ever want someone else, you either make them a co-host in the beginning, or you just go into the settings, you right click on their name and you allow them to be a co-host and then share their setting at that time. And another protection setting, the waiting room. This is what I referred to earlier. When any attendee comes to your meeting, you want to have them go into a waiting room that you admit them one by one. This allows live streaming meetings if you want to stream to Facebook or YouTube or a custom live streaming service. Okay, now we're going to film the Loom so you can actually see my computer settings that I can't show you while I'm actually in a Zoom. Hopefully that makes sense.